Hola amigos, I wanted to introduce to you guys one last indicator. It's fully automatable or semi-automatable, whatever you want to do with it. If you want to manually trade it too, that's perfectly okay. To fully automate it or to semi-automate it even, there's a few extra steps you have to do to link your broker, do all sorts of things. I like this strategy a lot that I'm about to go over for calling daily higher lows. So you really want to be using it when we're in a daily uptrend. So pretty much where we've been for the last several months, pretty much a year, all the way back to like last January, I believe. Let me go ahead and take myself off screen so we're not distracting over there. But essentially, this is the Backburner strategy. So it'll show up in your invite only tab if you do decide to purchase it. It's called RLQS Backburner. So essentially, if you're familiar with the chart guys, this is his strategy. He developed the strategy, and I have put it into full-on practice. So I created a more advanced strategy than what he came out with. I used his entry philosophy along with a couple other optimizations that I created for it. These lines look weird, but I'll explain what they are in just a little bit. These are for scaling in and scaling out. Same with this red line, scaling in and scaling out. So essentially, what we're going to be doing here, let me go ahead and show you the parameters. It's quite complex. You can use it with futures, or you can use it with any dollar-based cryptocurrency, stocks, whatever you really want to with it using the dollar value. It will change your calculations just a bit, but you can also customize it to any of these contract types. I might end up adding more, but honestly, these are the only ones I ever see myself trading, and I don't see why you really need to look at any more than any of this. We have NASDAQ, ES, we have several different equities here essentially. I don't remember what MC is. Oh, copper. We have a couple Forex pairs, a couple cryptocurrency pairs, and then the E-mini pairs, gold, that sort of stuff. Oh, this is gold. Anyway, long story short, you can choose between different futures. If you're not trading futures and say you're on cryptocurrency or something, just change the dollar value. Ignore this contract type. You don't need to look at it. Essentially this, if you're on futures here, it's going to calculate your tick values for you. So I put in a lot of effort into converting dollars to ticks and ticks to dollars and to points and all sorts of different things between all of these. That was quite a bit of work, but anyway, long story short, this is just for your risk management here, okay? So we're looking at the micro NASDAQ, so I'll keep it as it is right now. Essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to have a strategy fire for you, something along these lines, okay? And it's going to say Backburner. So this is pretty much when RSI, there's a PDF document in our shared folder, by the way, if you haven't looked at that yet. It's following the same entry philosophy, and I just created it into a full-on strategy here to where he gives you like a bunch of like different options of how to trade it and everything. I created a way here that is very profitable and over a 65% win rate. And just pretty damn good overall. I added a couple optimizations, so if you add this in there, it'll get rid of, got rid of one there at least, and I'm sure it got rid of quite a few others. But as you can see, this strategy, this is kind of made for a strong uptrend. Okay, so on a daily time frame, if we're looking straight up, like pretty much we are, then this is the time to be using it. Okay, so this is why I created this in the last couple weeks. To really call your macro lows, it's quite a bit different from the RSI climax because it gives more signals. But if you use proper risk management, which is what I built into this tool as well, it will turn out well for you. It'll call nice swing lows, such as this one here, for example. So anyway, let's get back into it here. So you have a couple of optimizations here. You can turn these off or toggle them on if you want. Just pull that to the side, kind of see what they do. It'll move things around. So this is if not just your 5, 15 minute, and 1 hour RSI is all oversold, but this will enable your 4 hour RSI also have to be oversold before your signal prints. It does increase your efficacy a little bit. It might reduce your amount of signals, but as you can see, there's still plentiful. I might even build in a 24-hour RSI filter into this before I publish it later. I think that'd be pretty easy for me to do since I already have the 4-hour. But anyway, long story short, a couple of optimizations here. This is also, you want the 55 and 200 EMA daily crossover to be up as well. So this is ensuring that you are in a daily uptrend, which I wouldn't recommend using this if you weren't in a daily uptrend. So anyway, this is strictly for longs, okay? And this is completely automatable. If you want to add it in, go for it. So let's essentially kind of see how this works. So your entry price, so if we zoom in here a little bit, you see these two dots. So our signal initially fired here, and then you're going to have a second entry point, which is what these two dots are portraying you, where RSI is more oversold than when the Backburner was. And so the outline for the, I can't remember if I put it on here or not. Yeah, below 20 RSI. For the 5-minute will be when your second entry is. You toggle this off, you don't see those. But you make a first entry when the signal is fired, and you make a second entry when you're oversold below 20 RSI on the 5-minute, which is what this toggle is here. I'll go over these next couple in just a minute. But essentially, you're going to enter your average entry price. So if you just got one entry, like this guy here, you would just type in whatever price you entered at. Let's just stick with, what is that, 17,200. Okay, and then what I would recommend doing is keeping your stop loss price here at a manageable level below your wick low. Okay, so for in this example, below this level, so below 17,100. Let's just go 17,050. Okay, and we'll pull this to the side real quick. As you can see, this units to buy, this is telling you your total units you want to purchase with this amount of spread between here, and when your account balance is this, and you're wanting to risk 15% per trade. I chose these numbers because this is your drawdown on the 50K account. If you want to type in, how much cash you have in your bank that you're putting down on, and you want to risk, let's say 1%, the numbers all work the same. That sort of stuff. So anyway, I'm just going to keep it with what I have it because I like thinking about what I'm risking in my drawdown on my funded accounts. But if you change these around, say you want to put 100,000 in here, it's going to work the exact same, or maybe one more zero. So it'll just keep, doing the math for you. So I had to build in a lot of these functions to also cooperate with these different contract types or different dollar values so that your risk management was in line. You're not going to over risk yourself. You're not going to risk more than this amount per trade. And so that is a phenomenal risk management tool that I've generated in the last couple days. The last couple options here, you can choose to toggle it off certain days like Saturday, Sunday, if you don't want to trade Wednesdays, whatever. Or you can just toggle, keep them all on, whatever you want. You can also choose time off, so don't trade between, this is set to 2 to 5 p.m. If whatever you want to do with this, you can completely change your times, so you don't want to trade at all during then. So that sort of stuff, that's all widely available for you. But let me kind of get into what the Backburner is real quick, in case you haven't read the PDF document. So the Backburner, how it's established with the chart, guys, is your 5-minute, your 15-minute, and your hourly time frame RSI is all below 30 upon closure. So when this hourly candle closed, the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1 hour were all below 30 RSI, and we are in a daily uptrend. Okay, so what this is telling you is we're oversold and our daily uptrend is up, so we're probably going to be bouncing from here. Essentially, is what this is. Long story short, that's pretty much what that is. I built in a couple, like the enable 4-hour RSI also has to be below 30, and making sure your daily uptrend is up. I'll probably go ahead and add 2 more of these, 12-hour and 24-hour, just so you can toggle it around if you would like. But essentially, that's the basics of it. So let me explain what these other lines are here. The blue line is is your daily 55 EMA printed on the chart. Okay, we're looking at the 1 hour time frame, but I did some background coding to be able to call the price at which the daily time frame 55 EMA is closing each day. So that's why it kind of looks like it jumps and that sort of stuff. It's because that's when your daily is closed and moved down here, that sort of stuff. So this is to be used as resistance. Okay, same thing with this. So I took the average open and close of your daily time frame and printed it on screen to show you a resistance band. Okay, so pretty much we're going to be using these as targets most of the time. And there might be a couple nuances when your average open and close is right on price, which is good, but at minimal you should be scaling out whenever you hit one of these two, and that sort of stuff. So essentially that's what those are. And then this red line here is to establish a 1.5R risk-free trade. So you're going to exit half of your position if you hit this red line. Okay, so like for this example, we entered at, what was it, 17.2, and our stop loss is at 17.50. So we have 150 points of risk there. So our, let's get down to right around there. Our 1.5R is 220 points away, which is pretty much smack dab 1.5R. Because we had 150 points risk, 1.5 times 150 is 225. So it puts this on screen so that you can generate a risk-free trade from this. So if you get up to this point, like we did from this signal up to here, scale out of 50% and then allow the rest to run up to what I would be using is the daily 55 if we are below there. I wouldn't expect to go too much higher than this off of before like a consolidation period at the least. But like an example over here where we are above the daily 55 and we're getting these signals, I would be using the same thing. So if we let's change these numbers around real quick. So this is 17,860 where we got our signal. 860, and then our low is 830. Let's go with that. Okay, so then it's going to repopulate where so we have 30 points of risk here. It's going to populate 45 points of profit here from this point to this point. So 45 points of profit. We're going to scale out half of our position here and then allow the rest to ride up until we hit our, or at minimal get close to our, which one is this? This is the daily 55. This is the average open close. Sorry. Might have to change the colors around because I can't quite remember. I think I like green for this one actually, because I always deal with 55 EMA as green and orange. I like that. So anyway, these are to be used as resistance bands. You're taking profit into these. Okay, this is an intraday trading strategy. You can use this on, I don't know, like Bitcoin, Solana, any stock, any Apple, anything along these lines. Let's check out what it's doing with Solana right now. So let's change these numbers around to, where are we at, 140, and let's say our stop loss is at 120. Okay, so also have lots of backburners. Let's just use this one for example. So Backburner, and we did not get a second entry here, which looks like we probably should have. We might have enter candle there, but long story short, essentially we're going to be targeting 1.5R, so that would be 20 times 1.5, like $35 from 140, which is where our line is printed out. I just want to show you real quick. Yep, right around 30 bucks. Oh, that would make sense. 20 points. Yeah, I can't do math while I'm thinking right here. But anyway, we're taking half profit at our resistance bands, and then if it works out, we're using these bands as taking profit levels. Okay, I found this to be extremely helpful and very visual for an intraday trading strategy using a daily time frame resistance as well as having a realistic exit target of some sort. So long story short, it's a backburner strategy. Use it in strong daily uptrends, like pretty much where we've been at for months. let's just go back in time and kind of see how it played out a while ago. So some nice strategies here. Phenomenal there. Good, 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 good. So anyway, it's really can call some nice moves. That's 30%. This one's looking like 18%. Shit, this one's huge, but 84% there. If you entered on this close there, that's 12%, all the way up to the resistance band. So as you can see, I built in a couple of extra on the chart, guys. They'll sell you this indicator and they'll just sell you the backburner. They don't tell you how to scale in, scale out. They don't give you risk management tools or optimizations or anything along those lines. I found, don't trade this on Friday for one. I don't know if you just saw, but that definitely removed a few trades. So like this one, for example, just nuked straight after that. Anyway, Fridays and probably Mondays I would also exclude, and kind of try to keep this in the middle time frame when the most trending action is going on. But anyway, this is made for a nice trending move. You can use these resistance bands to scale in and scale out. Use your dollar cost average and risk-free entry trading plan for this as well. Like all that indicator should be used on every single strategy, in my opinion. But it's really great at calling bottoms, kind of like the RSI Climax is, but this is built a little differently, and this is taking into account multiple time frames, multiple optimizations, and resistance bands, as well as you can plot on here where you want to take 50% profit at to have a risk-free trade, to what run higher, all sorts of different things. So yeah, actually I never changed that over to dollar value, but shouldn't change too much seeing as being Solana. But long story short, it's we're getting backburners on a lot of pairings right now, and that's a nice 5% move on Apple. That's a good one there. Let's check my old company. Well, it's for $2. I don't feel like fucking with that. What else is up there? MicroStrategy. Couple good backburner trades. So as you can see, it works really well on a lot of different assets. Might have to change these numbers just so we can see. Let's go 40 and 30. Just put in random numbers. Did I not do that? Oh, yeah, do that right. So that's why I would recommend maybe adding another filter into this before I fully launch it. I think I'll go ahead and add the 12-hour and the 24-hour just so you can visualize it. 24-hour I probably wouldn't use, but yeah, anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and it's a pretty damn good indicator to have in your back pocket. It's not going to call the exact low most of the time, but it's going to give you a nice range. That's why we scale in as first entry here and then second entry here, for our total average price should be like right around here. And then we scale out as we hit our resistance band, 17% gain there with AVAX, and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say about this. Can't think of anything else to cover. You can toggle these on if you don't like how they look, perfectly fine. All these sorts of things. Second entry, take that off. Labels if you don't want to see how much you should be buying to stay in your proper risk management, to risk, as this is set up, 15% of $2,500 would have you buying 38 AVAX. Okay, so anyway, long story short, hope you enjoyed it and been working hard on these, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the Discord.